Okay, so what is an offset account and what are the advantages of having money in an offset account versus paying it down off your loan? Let's thrash that out. So we've got a loan of $400,000, and for argument's sake, we're saying today that this is our own mortgage, meaning that you're living in that property. It's your own home, not an investment property. We have an offset account over here. So what is an offset account? It's basically an account that's linked to your home loan that you can put money into. Right now, some banks charge a fee per month to have that account, some don't, but you can put that money into that account and it actually offsets the loan that you've got with that particular lender. And I'll go into some numbers in a moment. But the concept of the offset account is a good one for people to be able to throw extra cash in there and it can offset your debt, which is essentially bad debt if it's your own mortgage of the house that you're living in. Some may have a redraw facility. Now, some cases, the redraw facility doesn't offset the loan that you've got. So you must check with your lender if you've got a redraw facility and not an offset account. But a lot of banks now have a redraw facility which offsets anyway. So we've said there's a 3.5% interest rate that's being charged on this $400,000 per annum. That's costing us interest only $14,000. We're not talking about the principal for the argument today. We're talking about just the interest amount. That is $14,000 per annum on that $400K. So the simple math, 400,000 times by 3.5% equals 14,000. Now, because we've got 50 grand of our own money, right? We've saved up 50 grand, or we've got a donation or lottery or whatever it may be. We've got 50 grand sitting there. It's our own cash. It's offsetting the 400,000. So essentially, we're paying interest on how much? $350,000, not 400. So our interest per annum, if we keep it there for every day of the year, because interest is calculated daily, our interest is $12,250. So we're saving ourselves about $34 per week. Okay, better in your pocket than the bank's, right? So we're better off having our money in the offset versus a savings account that's not linked to our home loan. Does that make sense? So $34 a week we're saving by having our 50 grand in there. Now, some people come to us and say, do we pay down that loan or do we keep the money in the offset? What do we do? Well, there's no right or wrong, but what I will say is if we pay it down, our loan will be down to 350. We'll have zero amount sitting in there, which means we may not have cash for a rainy day, or we may not have cash to go and buy shares or go and buy property or do something that we want to do in our life. Okay, so it restricts us from that point of view, when in actual fact, whether we pay it down or not, the interest payable is still the same as long as that 50 grand is sitting there. Okay, so paying it down, conservatively speaking, it reduces our loan, and we all want our loans to be going down, don't we? Over here, we've got the flexibility to go and do with that money what we want in an emergency situation. Hopefully we've got our buffers anyway, but we can go and use that cash as opposed to putting our hand up and saying, Mr. Bank, can you give us that $50,000 back? Hope that makes sense to you.